Well, welcome back to this teaching on the nature of the enemy. Specifically, we can learn from the Word of God many things about our enemy, God's enemy, which is now our enemy because we've chosen to be on God's side as one of His sons or daughters. And the way that God has revealed the nature of this enemy is through the terms He applies to him. We technically call these appellations. An appellation is a title. For instance, my name is Dan Gallagher, but I'm also an ordained minister, so you could say Reverend Gallagher. Now, if you use that word reverend, that would give you a basic understanding of an aspect of my life. It's kind of like a soccer ball. There's one ball, but there's various patches on the ball, and if each one of those patches had, say, a different name, then they would give us an understanding of the ball. But there's only one ball. I'm also a husband. So if you referred to me as the husband of Lori, that would give you some inferences that you could develop from that term. Or I'm the father. I have children. So as a father, then you understand more of my nature. We have, for instance, different appellations that are used in the Bible, and we've kind of lost the significance of meanings. Jesus was referred to as Jesus of Galilee, because that would tell you a geographic region he came from. And also knowing the Galileans, you would know that their manners, their customs. There's another one which was John the Baptist, technically John the Baptizer. And so through that term, we would learn things about him. One of the terms that God uses of his archenemy is the God of this age. In some translations, it's the God of this world. Now, first, from that usage of the term God of this world, we can break that down. When we're speaking in terms of God, small g, not God the Creator, as Yahweh is, but God in a sense of a small g, it implies that there's a sense of power and authority. When we say God of this age, then it also gives us a sense that there's a certain sphere of influence in which he operates in. So just from this one term alone, when God refers to his archenemy as the God of this age, we see that there's a sense of a desire for worship, that he has power, that he has authority, and that power and authority, by connecting it to of this age or of this world, then we see that there's a limitation to that realm. In Matthew chapter 4, verse 4, we get a sense of what this God of this age is after. It says, "Again, the devil took him, Jesus, to a very high mountain and showed him, Jesus, all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." So again, with the understanding of God of this age, when we begin to read these sections, we'll see that's what he's after. He seeks worship. We consider idolatry the worship of anything that's a false god. True worship is reserved only for God, Yahweh, and him alone. And anything else that we might worship, whether it be ourself, our spouse, our family, your job, career, money, possessions, whatever it may be, that would be idolatry. Now the devil, as the devil, God's archenemy, seeks to be worshipped for who he is. But if he can't get that, he's going to settle for any other worship he can get. And since he controls this world or this age, then anything that is worshipped within that realm gives him honor, gives him respect that he's not due. Pride really is at the center of all idolatry. And it's pride that caused this archenemy of God to be lifted up and to be desired to be worshipped in this way. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, it says, "How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn." And just as a little parenthesis here in this teaching, the morning star and son of the dawn is the term Lucifer. Some people have improperly thought of the term Lucifer as his name. It's not. It just means son of the dawn. And there, at one time that was translated as light bearer, but it actually does mean son of the dawn. And he had a position that God had given him, and it was a powerful position, and it involved a sense of his understanding of light, which we know to be one of the, it's probably the greatest demonstrations of power and all of that. So incumbent in that name, Lucifer, is a whole understanding. But Jesus Christ is now the morning star. He has taken the position that Lucifer once had as God's right hand. In any event, let's go back to Isaiah, because we're on the topic of God of this age and his desire for worship, which is completely related to his pride. God says, "You have been cast down to the earth, that you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of the sacred mountain. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." Satan, God's second in command, as Lucifer, decided he was going to ascend to the very throne of God, a position reserved only for God. This reveals the nature of his pride and his desire for worship. He's infected mankind with this same sense of pride. But this first term, God of this age, is a very fundamental understanding to knowing his power, his authority, the sphere of influence in which he operates, and also his desire for worship and how he works within that sphere of influence, the world, developing the systems and a lot of the other things that he does because he wants worship as the God of this age.